how do you even become a senior engineer if there's no junior engineer?
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Velocity Lab. I'm Dave.
I'm Dan. We work inside engineering organizations every day, helping them ship faster with AI, not in theory, but inside their actual teams. We come here and share what we're seeing in the field, what's working, what isn't, and what most people are getting wrong. No hype, no BS.
No BS, Dan. We are hands-on keyboard. We are not PowerPoint presentation consultants. Today, we're talking about where do senior engineers come from now, right? So like with AI, we've said this in other podcasts, at this point, if you're still coding, you're a dinosaur. I know you don't 100% believe in that, but generally speaking.
No, I do believe.
Okay, yeah.
I can't admit that Claude is a better coder than me, but he codes fast. There's no point in me coding.
Yeah. So so here's the deal. If you're doing things right, then you are not writing code anymore. That's the right now, as of May 2026. If you're writing code, you shouldn't be. You're doing something wrong. So
just keep saying. Dave just loves to.
I love it. I love it.
You're a dinosaur.
Yes. The hot takes, Dan. Dan, hot takes. No. So, but the question is like, so if you're not coding, then, but you're still an engineer, it's still software engineering, still have a software development life cycle. If you're not coding, what are you doing? You're planning and reviewing. What traditionally is that? Like, what job title is that? That is like a staff or a principal engineer, right? So like with the way things are going, we feel, and this is, I'm not trying to scare people, but the people who are still going to have jobs are the ones that are good at planning and reviewing. Cause let's say coding's taken care of. So the people who are, but you still have to have solid engineering best practices. It's not like coding is magic. You still have to know how to plan. So
no, like you said, it's staff, principal engineers, or senior engineers at some level, right?
Yep.
And I think the question is like, well, then how do you even become a senior engineer if there's no junior engineer?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think.
I don't think I have an answer for it. It's pretty tough. What I've seen though, and so I do work with junior engineers still, people right out of college. And I think one of the things true about AI that most people are agreeing on, or there's been research papers, AI amplifies, right?
Yep.
And so what I've seen is like people that would be mediocre engineers are all of a sudden like kind of poor engineers. But I'm still seeing good engineers come out of college. And right now, what do they do well? Well, they're actually not quite reviewing PRs. They kind of are. They can review with Claude, but not really at the level that you would want because they don't have the experience.
Yep.
The things that you're looking for when you review PRs, right, are like, all right, what's going to break the system? What's like a bad architecture pattern that's going to bite us in like three months from now? You're kind of like looking to the future based on this code, and you're using experience from the past to kind of help you determine like what's going to break something. And so, junior engineers don't have it. They're not going to have it. They don't have those past experiences. What they can do is they can use Claude and kind of ask questions about Claude, like but really, I don't think that's where junior engineers are going to excel. But what I've seen, and I think for anybody, you have to provide value on top of what Claude is doing, right?
Yeah.
So what I see is junior engineers are putting up solid PRs that don't have as many issues as just Claude doing it on their own.
Right? Oh, yeah.
So they're planning, they have a feature idea, or they've been given a feature idea from product. There's a requirements spec. They're able to plan with Claude, and they can put up a PR that's better than just Claude taking a ticket and putting up a PR.
Yeah. So they're adding value. So basically Claude is going to do a baseline, but they're doing better than just the Claude, which is a skill, right? It's a skill. That's a skill.
And what I've seen, and you can start and you can be as good or worse than Claude when you start day one. But every time you're corrected or you do something wrong on like someone says, hey, we shouldn't do this because XYZ, you learn from that and you don't make that same mistake again.
Yep.
Right. So day one, the expectation is not that you're better than Claude, but by day 90, you have excelled. You're putting up more complete PRs. Things are getting better. Now, at the same time, when all this is happening, Claude should also be getting smarter and see that feedback, and it should be going into the skills. So you still continue having an up level, but really it's just like, there's two main things actually. One is, you know how to get shit done.
Yep.
Two is you're learning from experience, right? And so those are two features that I think enable you to be a good junior engineer right now, and also accelerate towards what would have been like a staff or principal engineer, which is maybe going to be like senior or
yeah. Well, basically you're accelerating what would have been like a 5 or 10 year career in like a couple of years, right? So So Dan, let me ask you another question. So we talk about this all the time. Early in my career, I was taught this by a guy named Jake, awesome engineer, good friend. He said, okay, listen, you're gonna run into two type of people in your career: palace guards and commandos, right? So I've modernized that to be maintainers or builders, right? You and I are builders, right? In the future, because we're going so fast, and it's all about planning, it's all about building a system and then implementing that system and tuning that system. Is there room for maintainers? Is it only going to be builders? Because like the people that we see that are early adopters that are kind of kicking ass in this space, like you and I and other people, other engineers, those are all builders. So is there room for the maintainers? Because like when you go to these big companies, there's not many builders and a lot of maintainers.
Yeah.
So is there room for maintainers in the future?
Maybe, I think. So what do you think a maintainer could be? Someone who was solidifying your harness? Right?
Yep.
Like they're there patching the holes. Where did Claude make mistakes? Updating it.
Yep.
They're now maintaining the harness while the builders are building on top of that.
Yep.
Harness.
Absolutely.
Like
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Because like you're building a system that system always needs to be improved. That's your builder, but it also needs to be maintained. And like, hey, like we made a small change here. The metrics are wrong. Like let's
like where do you? And also like what we're doing now is like we're inserting Claude into every single part of your software development lifecycle.
The entire thing.
You know, it's planning, coding, reviewing, and then it's deploying. Then it's incident management, mitigation, postmortems, all this stuff, right? And Claude is automatically, or whatever AI agent you're using is going to automatically be updating this already. But the maintainers are still, I think there's still going to be a space for them to kind of help really just make sure that this system is moving forward, and also not regressing, right? So I think maybe, but time will tell, right?
Yeah, but for sure to get there, you need builders. You need to let builders build, right? Engineering managers get the hell out of their way, let builders build, because this is a titanic shift. In order to like convert your company, your slow moving company, to a super fast agentic first company, it's a Herculean task.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to be capable of getting you there, right? You got to find those few people in your org who can help you do that, and just have them focus on this for a while.
And what you say is, I think, true. Like there are maintainers and builders, but I also, I think one of the things that like works for me with AI is like, I also really enjoyed working with folks in the past that just like move super fast, get things out there. And then I go through and like clean it up. And like, okay, this is going to scale now. This is going to actually work. But those people that aren't afraid to like ship slop.
Yeah.
Now AI is shipping the slop. Although we're cleaning, we're like, we can insert the system before it gets to even to a PR now.
Yep.
But I don't mind that, like just what I would say is actually maintenance in a lot of senses is like cleaning it up, making sure that it's actually going to work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I also love building too, but there's something once you get to that point where it's scale and things start breaking, I love fixing that too. So
yeah, I mean, let's be clear, Dan, when we say we're shipping, you and I aren't shipping anything. Our autonomous coding robots that live in the cloud and work 24 hours a day They're the ones that actually ship. We're not shipping anything. We're planning and reviewing. We're not we're not actually shipping anything. We're just telling, we're creating, like the other day I created a PRD. I used Claude to create a PRD locally. And then I had just had my agent ingest that and run it through our system. It did some planning, create a bunch of tickets, and then doing a bunch of work. And it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. Feature ship.
But the builder mentality is still there. And I think it's now it's so easy to build, and you get that thrill or that, like, that thing that pumps you up about shipping code fast. You can still get it. And that's what's driving us to be like, okay, let's queue up 24 tasks for today and have our autonomous agent ship it.
Yeah. So let's go back to the original subject. Like, where do junior engineers come from? I mean, like, for sure, like, I would think, like, if you're a principal or a staff engineer and you're drinking a Kool-Aid and you're totally on board with autonomous programming, that your job's pretty safe because your job's pretty much exactly the same, right? But you still need to have junior people, still need to be bringing people along. But you just gave some encouraging words. You've worked with people right out of college, and they're getting it. Also think we're in this weird transition period where, like,
I think the thing is, we don't know what that role is yet.
yeah,
People who are comfortable just like getting in there and getting things done, they're going to be okay. They will advance in their career, and I think it's okay. But the definition of what a junior engineer is, like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
The definition of what a staff and principal engineer is, you're starting to manage your fleet of agents, right?
Yeah.
And so what that means at a lower level, like, I actually just don't know.
Yeah. Well, for example, 3 months ago, and this was all over the interwebs, and we had the same opinion. Claude is equivalent to a junior engineer. Our opinion has completely changed on that. Claude is not a junior engineer anymore. Claude is a mid-level or maybe even a senior engineer, right?
If you have the right harness.
If you have the right harness, if you have our harness like Shipwright that we use and our clients use, it's doing planning, it's creating tests, it's running all tests, it's doing linting, it's simplifying, like, it's checking the PR, it's doing everything for you that like a solid engineer would do. So I think things have changed a lot there. I think another thing that's going to change, and probably not now, but in a year or two, is that, like, once engineers grow up with Claude, right? That's a totally different mindset. They expect Claude to, like, oh no, I expect Claude to write really good code. They're going to grow up doing this. We're not right now. We're having to teach people stuff. But I think in a year or two, people are going to be like, oh no, I use Claude.
Yeah, we don't know what things are going to be in 5 years.
So let me ask you a question, Dan. How do you interview? Let's say you have a job opening, right? Mid-level, senior, whatever it is. How do you interview? Let's say your company's doing agentic, like, let's say our company that does autonomous coding, we're going to hire somebody. What are we looking for in an interview?
I mean, we're looking to see how they work, or Codex or whatever. So, like, actually, so recently I have interviewed a few folks, and actually the question didn't change. So it's actually interesting. So when you're dealing with like these smaller scoped items, it's actually questionable if Claude is speeding you up. So, like, what would have taken you an hour to code manually still almost takes an hour with Claude. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yep.
Because, like, but what you're doing has shifted, right? So you're not at the computer coding. You're first planning with Claude. You're instructing.
Well, you're not just planning. You're iterating over the plan. It's not like you plan once. You plan, then you iterate.
You're iterating on the plan, and by the end of the interview, you press enter, and Claude writes all the code, writes all the tests. Everything is validated after that plan is done. So your plan tells you everything that you want Claude to do, and so it's interesting in the interview setting. I haven't, like, the same question still works, but in the working setting, since you can plan so much more at once and then just queue up a bunch of tasks, then you get that acceleration. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of YC companies, they will like have someone work with them for a week and then make a decision after that, which is great. Like,
try before you buy. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's great because then you get to work with someone, you see how they work, they can solve something bigger in a week, and you can see how much they can actually do. But like the crazy thing is, like, only a subset of people can actually do an interview like that. Like, oh yeah, I'll just like leave my other job for a week and interview with this company. So it really works well for like junior people, which is maybe what like YC companies are
for
targeting.
sure.
Like, hey, I want the 20 somethings. Let's see what they're capable of. And yeah, you're probably right. Like when they get out of college, they've already been like building stuff with Claude now. And or if they haven't, it's like, okay, that's a signal too.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that'll be more so in like the next 2 or 3 years. But yeah.
Yeah, I would think for me, like things I'd want to do in an interview is one is show me what you've built with Claude Code, because anyone who's in Claude Code knows that, hey, I can build this, I can build that. They probably have all their own side projects, right?
Yes.
Right. And then two is, okay, now you show me what you built. Show me the system, most importantly, the system that you build, right? Did you build a skill, a sub agent? Like, right? Because if you just build something, anyone can vibe code anything nowadays. But the differentiator is, did you build a system to build? That is the next level. That's what we're looking for.
That's true. And so, yeah, these are different interview modules. So there's the coding module, which is like the first thing I think of when I think of interviewing something, because it's like if you can't build something, I don't want you. And then there's like the technical deep dive is what you described.
Yep.
That would be where historically the technical deep dive module is you ask someone like what system you're working on, and then they have to explain like all the different things. And then you test them on things like, okay, what would you actually improve? What did you learn? Like whatever. And so I think you can do a deep dive on their harness or whatever, like, and maybe the harness, like and you can try to get a sense of like, okay. And the deep dive architecture really is great because you can see like, they can talk about how it works, but did they actually build it? You like quiz them on like the details. Hopefully, you know what you expect to hear from that. And then you can quiz them on that and get a good signal on whether or not they built it or they were using someone else's harness, which is, as a junior engineer though, like that's the interesting thing. What do we expect from a junior engineer? I don't know.
Yeah, I think things are changed. But here's the deal. It's not all doom and gloom. I think everyone has an opportunity for this, but you got to adapt. If you're not going to adapt, I don't know. All right, we're App Vitals, App minus Vitals. We do AI consulting. We transform your business. We increase your velocity, and we know how to use agentic programming. Anyways, give us a shout on the internet. Bye.